All right, one of your students had a very, very good question. This is from last week's homework. She ran the one-way ANOVA, and the DV was rat strength or whatever. IV was the different treatment groups, et cetera, et cetera. She clicked OK. She got there was a significant difference in the F score. There was a big F score. We ran the Tukey tests, and there was a significant difference between every pairwise group except for one. So according to the Tukey test, there was no significant difference between the suppressant high group and the suppressant low group. That's how you read this. From this to this, it was not significant, okay? She very cleverly then ran a t-test to compare those two groups to see if they would come up to be a significant difference between the t-tests. And again, the DV is the rat perfectness or something, and the grouping variable was the IV, and you selected group 4 and 5, right? That's high suppressant and that's low depressant. You click OK, and what do you know? You get a significant difference between the t-test here. Look at that, it's 0.046. So the Tukey test says there's no significant difference between those two, but the t-test says there is. So I'm going to try to explain why this is. So here's the formula to calculate the t-score, right? Subtract the means and you do the pooled variance. You divide that, and that gives you the t-test. So that's how they would calculate the t-test statistic, which gave you a significant difference from this example. The other one is there it is. So to calculate the difference between using the Tukey test, completely different set of calculations. So you'll notice that this mean squares within group is from the ANOVA. That's the difference in the calculations. So that is one reason we probably got a different one, but I'm going to show you something real quick on the output. If you look at the confidence interval, okay, big one, confidence interval. The confidence interval of the difference of the means between the high suppressant and the low suppressant, you'll notice it starts at like -12 and it goes all the way up to +2. So what that means is 0 is in this confidence interval. And it's always a big giant rule is if you have a 0 in a confidence interval of the difference of two means, and that's what this is, with a 0 in it, that's what the null states, and you cannot reject the null. I'll say that again. Because this confidence interval has the number 0 right there in the middle of it, that's what the null states, that the difference between this group and that group means will be 0. So you would not be able to reject the null when it comes to that comparison. But that's about it that I can think of, and if anybody else can think about it, please contact me. MGZ, out.